Karen Sachs, welcome to my living room.
Thank you. Welcome to my third floor.
Oh, I like it. It looks very cozy.
No dogs barking or kids to interrupt us, hopefully. So
And if they do, it's fine because there's no rules in quarantine life.
yes, true.
Absolutely. Well, Karen is a trustee for Women for Progress. So she's here to talk about what this group is doing to help people on the front lines fighting COVID-19 and other people affected by it. So I'm really happy to be talking with you.
Thank you. We're thrilled to be joining HIP New Jersey. We didn't realize we were hip, but we're excited.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm taping 17 of these today. That's like,
wow.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And then I roll them out live once a day.
Right.
I just had a half-hour conversation about germs.
Oh.
So
okay.
if there's anything in the world's least hip, it's
yes.
that.
Well, this is about food. So food's super hip no matter what.
Exactly. And you got a lot of hip partners from what I can tell.
That is true.
But let's take it back. What is Women for Progress?
So Women for Progress is actually an education and advocacy and activist organization that started out of the election. And it's a group of women that really fight for progressive causes. So we put on different events and vigils and educational seminars around areas of importance to us and to our members, which is around access to healthcare, discrimination, sexism, racism, disabilities, the environment, all those types of things. So actually the way this came about is this was sort of brought to Women for Progress. So really, a group of us, not even thinking about really the organization, we had just been trying to order from our local restaurants, when we were all shut down, and we were like, oh my God, we either have to cook or, hopefully there's still some restaurants that we can order from. And I was hearing from our favorite restaurants that, they were closed and of course then they were required to be closed, and they were trying to figure out how they were going to stay in business really. And this is before they even knew if they could do curbside pickup and orders and things like that. So they were really all, the couple that we spoke to were really worried about paying their staff, keeping their doors open, and just surviving during this quarantine. So we started thinking oh my God, we just started sending emails around, make sure you take out from this restaurant, make sure you frequent them. And, then we started hearing about all the healthcare workers that didn't have, they're working 24/7. I mean, they're the true heroes in all of this. And we were just hearing stories about how, they're working around the clock. They don't have time to eat. The cafeterias close at, before dinner time, and these are people that are now doing shifts 24/7. So sort of this light bulb went off about, oh, well, what about if we fundraise and buy food from the restaurants to deliver to, all of these hospitals and even, the ambulance units and really the first responders and what we call now, the program's called Feed The Frontline. We formalized it. And so we started calling our favorite restaurants and calling around to different groups saying, do you need this? Do you need this? And as sort of it started, the restaurants were like, oh my God, absolutely. And the Montclair ambulance unit and the hospital that we called was like, this would be so great. We realized kind of we were onto something. So we decided to make it, we're like, wow, this could, get pretty big. And we're like, why don't we make it as a project of Women for Progress, because we're a not-for-profit. And, everybody readily was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing. We also had funds ourselves already to put toward it. So it's just really, it's been such a win-win. It's really taken off. And I actually call it a win-win-win because the restaurants are so thankful, the healthcare workers are so thankful, the hospitals that don't have to we're doing all the coordination behind the scenes with the restaurants, so they're thankful. But I would say just as thankful are the people who are contributing funds and willing to make calls and help us out, because everyone's sitting at home and they watch these heroes doing all this work and they're like, oh my God, how can I just, I'm sitting at home, what can I do to help? So it's been just an extraordinary effort all around, and a real win-win-win.
I
Yeah.
love, you should be very proud of yourself for
Yes,
pulling that together. That's
I'm
great.
proud of very proud of our group, Women for Progress. It's been since 2017, this most amazing activist organization, always ready to jump in the front lines and do exactly what's needed. So Feed the Frontline's perfect adjunct to what we were already doing.
Absolutely. So what are some of the area restaurants that you're working with?
So Women for Progress is in two we cover sort of two areas. The group started as a Bergen County group, and then we decided to expand into Essex County. So we sort of have two contingencies. So we decided we were going to focus our efforts on both of those areas. So we're actually working with 12 different restaurants in 6 in Bergen County and 6 so far in like the Montclair area here. I'm based in Montclair,
Okay.
and we are sending food to 7 different facilities right now. I mean, it started out with 1 in Bergen County, 1 in where do we start here? In Belleville, which is in Essex County. And, from there, I would say, as soon as we reached out to those first 2 and those first 2 restaurants, now we're just fielding calls from the rest, the others. Now 5 facilities that we've added reached out to us and said, we heard this was going on. The one that really broke my heart is we're providing food now to East Orange Hospital. And that hospital, unfortunately, has the distinction of being it's where the first emergency room doctor in the entire country passed from the coronavirus, was an East Orange Hospital emergency room doctor. So when somebody reached out to us and said the morale is down, they're struggling, they're overworked, they don't have equipment, we were like, drop everything, we're sending food there. So we started sending 200 meals there last week. We said 200 this week, and now there are a lot of other groups now that are kind of doing this kind of thing in all different areas. We weren't the only ones that had this brilliant idea. We thought we were, but luckily a lot of people are creative, and so all throughout New Jersey and actually the country now there are so many groups doing this. So we're really trying to now coordinate our efforts and make sure it's too hard for the hospital to do all this coordination. So behind the scenes, we're coordinating with the group now that one group is going to deliver food on Mondays, one group's going to do Tuesdays, one's Wednesdays, we're Thursdays and Friday, and so on like that. So they're not, one day overloaded with food and then the next day have nothing. Yeah. We also found out East Orange Hospital, they just told us that their entire cafeteria is now shut down because of COVID. They don't want to subject the cafeteria workers and things to the virus. So now there is no food at all being prepared at East Orange Hospital. So they're looking for food, 5 days a week, 7 days a week. So hopefully we're going to be able to bump up our efforts there. Yeah.
So people watching, can they donate? Is there a portal for people to donate to the cause?
Absolutely. If you go to womenforprogress.org, we set up a link there for Feed the Frontline. And if you just click on that on the homepage, it talks about what we're doing. And so another thing is Women for Progress is an all volunteer organization. We don't have one paid staff member. So 100% of any of the monies donated is going towards this effort. Nobody's being paid, no other expenses other than everything's going toward the restaurants and the healthcare workers.
Now, what's your professional background?
I actually ran a not-for-profit I founded and ran a not-for-profit for 18 years. So, and
Called what? What was it called?
Volunteer Lawyers for Justice. It's I'm a lawyer by trade, and it is a legal pro bono program based in Newark, New Jersey. And we provide free legal assistance to people who can't afford it. And it's sort of it works the same way. We rely on fundraising, the whole entire not-for-profit is all grant and individual based funding and corporations and foundations. And we get volunteer attorneys to provide assistance for people who can't afford it. So, I just have the background in this too. So I'm like, I know we can do this. Like, no, absolutely. Like, this is something that's totally manageable for the organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Give the website one more time so people know.
Women for Progress, WOMEN for FOR Progress, PROGRESS.org.
I love it. So one last question before I let you go.
Yeah.
How are you spending quarantine life besides trying to save the world, obviously?
Personally, I have 2 kids at home. And so what I do by trade now is I do nonprofit consulting. So I'm helping the organizations that I've been consulting to weather this whole storm, figuring out staffing issues and everything else. It's just done, like everything else, it's done a complete 180 in terms of what their needs are.
Yep.
And then I have a college student who's doing an online course right now. And I have a high school student who is hopefully doing his work. It's remote learning. It's like, yeah, God bless teachers too. I just want to say that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Your high schooler is spring break next week?
Yes, it is. It is. So I'm like, okay, you've been on a spring break mostly, but you know what? Everyone could use it. If he does 10 minutes of work a day, I'm like, it is what it is right now. And everybody, teachers and otherwise, are also dealing with their own personal situations. They're not, their lives now are not focused on our children. So let everybody take care of what they need to take care of during this time. And we'll hopefully all be back to normal in a couple of months, if not a couple of weeks.
I hope from your lips to God's ears. Karen, this was so fun. Thank you so much.
It was. Thanks so much for getting the word out and for everything you're doing.
Yes, I'm happy that we're connected, and I hope to meet you in person through all of everything HIP New Jersey is working on, one day soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
You too. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Same.
Bye.
Bye.